Hey team, Coach Jess here. So today I'm talking about ways to celebrate Valentine's Day without food. Ooh, is it possible? I think so. So I know that the typical thing is like, let's go to dinner, let's have some chocolate, let's have some champagne. And I completely, I grew up with that whole mode. I remember my mom would always get me one of those little boxes, those little heart boxes of chocolate at the grocery store, and just I remember being so excited to bite into this strawberry chocolate one. As gross as that may be, actually it doesn't sound gross right now, it actually sounds really wonderful. But I'm straying from the fact that we're talking about Valentine's Day without food. So I know that we're always like, oh, let's get some champagne. Sometimes it's a nice steak dinner, or you go out to dinner, or if you're alone, you kind of maybe buy that box of chocolate and you sit and you veg out on that. No judgment from that, because that actually sounds wonderful. But so today I want to talk about ways to celebrate Valentine's Day without maybe going off track, or maybe, going into diving into the box of chocolate, literally. So let's talk a little bit about Valentine's Day and how to take care of yourself, okay? So I've got some notes here, just so if you guys see me glancing down, it's because, I am looking at my notes, because I wrote a whole list of things that, you could potentially do instead of eating the entire box of chocolate and drinking the entire bottle or two of champagne, okay? So ways to treat your Valentine, even if that Valentine is you, without food. So, of course, buy a card, right? Okay, you could write a really nice card. You could write a whole letter to your Valentine about why they're so wonderful. And what's beautiful about this is if your Valentine is you, why not write a whole letter to yourself? In fact, I'm married, but maybe I should write a little letter to myself about why I'm celebrating me this Valentine's Day, okay? You could go for a workout. Okay, so there are so many classes, especially in LA and everywhere else, where you could go to Valentine's Day. Instead of going to the dinner, you could go to a workout. I know that I'm actually teaching this Valentine's Day. So if you are in the LA area, you can come on in. That's Marla coming to sit with me on Valentine's Day. So go to a workout. You could also do a partner workout, right? So maybe just grab your person and you guys could do a partner workout. So I go, you go burpees. No, not so fun. Jump squats, push-ups, whatever you guys want to do. Maybe you just go for a hike together, or you go for a nice walk. I know in LA it's kind of raining, but wherever you are, maybe you jump on the treadmill together, right? And maybe not together. That would be a little bit intense, but maybe side-by-side treadmills. Or, I don't know, just do something together. Just sit together. You could play a board game. Oh, I know. I remember growing up, I always wanted to play board games, but I'm an only child. So it was kind of hey, will anyone play a board game with me? I remember setting up Mousetrap. Do you guys remember Mousetrap? And I would just set it all up and let it go, and then I'd take it down. Anyway, that's a really depressing only child story. But anyway, you could play a board game, okay? You could get a massage. You could do a couples massage, or you could give each other massages, which leads into maybe a different kind of workout. But, it's Valentine's Day, so maybe that's a way to burn some extra calories, okay? Now you maybe decided that okay, this Valentine's Day, we're going to go on a trip. But if you don't have that luxury, if you're not going on a Valentine's Day trip, how about you plan a trip? There's something really fun about sitting down, even if it's a trip for yourself. You sit down, you start looking at Airbnb or VRBO or whatever it is, and just plan out your trip. That's something you can do together that doesn't necessarily involve food, unless you want some healthy snacks on the side while you do that. You could go to a pottery place, or a color me mine. I know my husband probably wouldn't be into that, but he would go with me. We could maybe decorate a plate together or something. You could take a class, a cooking class, because cooking classes tend to be on the healthier side, right? You kind of learn to make a full, complete, balanced meal. So maybe that's a fun way to kind of incorporate food in a little bit of a way, but it's not mindlessly eating boxes of chocolate. you could take a bath. So if your Valentine is you this year, like, treat yourself. Treat yourself, okay? Get some bath salts, get some essential oils. You guys know I'm all about the essential oils. And just like have a nice night. Just relax, okay? Doesn't have to include champagne. It doesn't have to include chocolate. It can just be you taking time out for you. The other thing that you could do if you're with a partner or if you're on your own, you could totally write out your goals. So it's February. Usually we have a really big push for our goals in January, but now is kind of the time to kind of like reassess where you are in hitting those goals. So maybe you update your vision board, or maybe you just write down the goals that you have for February or for the rest of the year, or you just take this time to check in with yourself, okay? The other thing you could do, and this is kind of weird, but if you are celebrating Valentine's Day with someone, I think one of the most exciting things is to give each other space. And I know that that sounds completely contradictory on Valentine's Day, but sometimes the best thing that you can do is kind of, Marla agrees, she's giving herself some space now as she runs out the door. One of the best things you could do is kind of acknowledge like, hey, like maybe, especially if you have kids, right? Sometimes it feels like kids are so, I mean, Ridley is like 1.5 years old and he's just into absolutely everything. So one of the things that Nick and I do is like, hey, if you want to play your video game or you want to read or you want to, just chill out on Netflix, I'm going to do some of my own work and I'll come in here and I'll work on, reading or nutrition stuff, or, I'll have a call with a client. I'll do something that moves me forward that he can't necessarily help me with, and he does something that moves him forward in his goals. And we're kind of just in the same room together. We're kind of doing our own thing, but we're still together in that sense. But at the end of the day, or at the end of that hour, or that 2 hours, it feels nice to know that like both of us have moved forward, and we can then kind of reunite and come back together and kind of share maybe what we did or not, and maybe just veg out. So maybe Valentine's Day is more about you being with the person, but maybe separately doing something that really fuels you. There's things like you could watch a movie together. I know that kind of gets, at least for Nick and I, it gets a little bit tricky because watching a movie usually turns into like, well, we should have some snacks or we should have a drink with it. But it doesn't have to be that way, I think for so long, for so many of us, right, Valentine's Day has always been chocolate. Or flowers too. You could enjoy some flowers. You could go, we have Descanso Gardens nearby, so if you're in LA, you could go to Descanso Gardens and enjoy the flowers. But for so long, it's been food, drink, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I hope this list helped you. If you have any more ideas, like drop them in the comments below. So treat yourself without food. It doesn't have to be that way. And if you need any help with any coaching ideas, etc., I'm here for you. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Okay.